This was not the first time Sir Alistair, the Blackened Knight, had set foot on the grounds surrounding the tomb where marigolds grow. A lifetime ago, he once stood there, surrounded by the metal bodies of invaders from beyond the stars. It had been a long-fought battle, a war of attrition. In the end, he came to save Princess Nira, only for her to save herself. Magic. It wasn't possible, and yet Sir Alistair saw it with his own eyes. She melted their war machine, stopping the invasion force in its tracks. Nira sobbed into his shoulder as he held her close. Her skin was still hot from the magical fire she had set forth.
"Are you okay, Nira?"
Sir Alistair asked. She caught her breath and nodded. "Yes. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that." Sir Alistair helped her to her feet. Her eyes scanned the scorched land around him. Among the marigold flowers lay the fallen Varak soldiers. The blue light that once illuminated their armor was gone.
"You saved us all, Nira. What was that just now? Magic departed the realm long ago."
Nira wiped the tears from her eyes and let out a slow breath. Her eyes looked over to her mother's tomb. "Perhaps there is a better way to win this fight." Sir Alistair followed her gaze.
"I don't understand."
Nira shook her head. "Sir Alistair, I need you to make me a promise, here and now." He nodded, though his mind still drifted to the tomb beside them. "You must never speak of this to anyone. When asked how the battle was won, you must tell them you dealt the killing blow to the Varak horde. Do you understand?" Sir Alistair understood, but he did not follow.
"Nira, you saved the realm. This glory is yours, not mine."
She shook her head. "Do you know what would happen if others found out about my magic? About what I am, what my mother was?" Sir Alistair could feel that he was standing upon the precipice of some forbidden truth.
"Nira, what are you talking about? Your mother was human, like you."
Nira nodded. "Right, yes, of course. You understand." He didn't, but Sir Alistair did not push the issue. He would carry the secret of what happened there to his grave if he needed to. Many krona later, Sir Alistair once more stood before the entrance of the tomb where marigolds grow. He held the pendant in his hand as his fellow Order members waited behind him. The sounds of battle were close by. The rot was breaking free of the ice spell the fairies had used to halt their march.
"This isn't a good time for daydreaming, Blackened Knight! Open the door!"
Jameson growled. Sir Alistair saw a constellation carved into the stone door of the mausoleum. One of the stars, however, was a different shape than the rest. It matched the shape of the pendant in his hand. He reached, pressing it into the stone. The sapphire lit up with a haunting blue light. Stone grinded against stone as the door slid open. Ancient air, dusty and thick, emanated from within. Sir Alistair stepped inside, and immediately lights illuminated the path forward. They were mounted on the walls, clearly some form of technology, but their light was pure, white as snow. The lights illuminated a stairwell, leading deep into the belly of the realm. Sir Alistair took the pendant out of the open door as he, Jameson, Elara, Sarai, and Yeldarb began their descent. The door shut behind them. The group walked in silence for what felt like eons. Eventually Yeldarb spoke.
"Such a deep tunnel. Not since the time of the dwarves has Devine seen something hidden so deep."
"It is strange," Sarai added. "What could be hidden down here?" The group reached another door. It was massive and made from a metal that glimmered in the darkness. Etched on its surface was a symbol that Yeldarb immediately recognized.
"That's the mark of the Eluthian Titans. What is it doing all the way down here?"
he asked. Sir Alistair placed his hands on the door and felt it give.
"It seems we are about to find out," he said, pushing the door open.
The group stepped through as lights illuminated across the space. On both sides of the room, wooden shelves held ancient books and scrolls. At the back of the space, towering over them, was a machine unlike any they'd ever seen. 7 metal arms emerged from a massive crystal plate on the ground at the back of the chamber. Each of the arms curved over the top of the plate. At the end of the arms, 3-pronged claws held familiar metal spheres. There were 6 arms in total, one of which was empty-handed. At the sight of the metal spheres, Sarai ripped the chronoscepter off her back and looked at the sphere that sat atop it. It was identical. Those arms on the machine, they're holding...
Chronospheres,
Sir Alistair said, approaching the device. Yeldarb's eyes lit up.
This is incredible! The chronospheres of the Eleuthian Titans were thought to be lost or destroyed when the Celestial Forge shattered the moon!
He ran forward, pausing only to look at the dusty tomes and scrolls that lined the shelves on either side of the room. Jameson and Alara made their way into the chamber as well, their eyes wide as they scanned the space.
What in the 7 does a chronosphere do anyway? Jameson asked. They were used by the Eleuthian Titans to travel through time, an insurance policy, to erase any mistakes made during the creation of Devine, Yeldarb said, his nose already buried in one of the books. Jameson grinned through pointed teeth. So you're all thinking what I'm thinking, right? He looked to Alara, who remained silent but nodded. It's not that simple, Sarai said, approaching the machine with the chronoscepter in hand. Why not? Jameson asked. Let's fire it up! Go back! And stop Blackheart before he gets the Mechanarch! Sir Alistair tapped the screen on his gauntlet and looked up as the machine in the back of the room hummed to life. Beams of blue light shot out from the crystal plate on the ground. If these readings are correct, the device is already programmed to send users back to the Gilded Age, just before the Titans were killed in the destruction of the Celestial Forge. This must have been Finton's plan all along. To go back and stop the rot before it ever reached Devine, Sir Alistair said. Hang on a second. The rot isn't from Devine? Jameson asked. No one knows where the rot truly came from, but all historians agree it was not native to the realm. According to our texts, it arrived sometime during the Gilded Age, just after the Titans were killed, Yeldarb said. Okay then, Jameson shouted. Let's fire this thing up and save the realm! Sir Alistair sighed. Just as Sarai said, it's not that simple, Jameson. The Titans didn't want chronospheres to be used lightly. As a result, their power source is something beyond value, Sir Alistair said, still tapping at the screen on his arm. Fine. So what do we need to make them work? Jameson asked. Chronospheres are powered by living souls, Jameson, Sarai said. The room immediately fell silent. The smile faded from Jameson's face. Sarai, your chronoscepter. I believe it's meant to go here, Sir Alistair said, pointing to the center of the crystal plate. Sarai stepped onto the surface. The moment she did, the metal sphere on the top of her staff lit up with an identical blue light. At the center of the plate was a hole just large enough to accommodate the width of the chronoscepter. She set it down, letting go as a click sounded from beneath her feet. A low hum filled the air as the other chronospheres and the metal arms all around her lit up as well. Will it work without Finton's sphere? We only have 6 of the 7, Sarai said. Sir Alistair nodded. Yes, the device will still work. We'll just need to compensate for the missing sphere by overclocking one of the existing ones. You're saying we need another soul, aren't you? Sarai asked. Sir Alistair finally paused and looked up, his face grim. Yes. That is correct. Once more, silence choked the room. Yeldarb set down the scroll he was holding and stared at the device. I'll do it, he said plainly. Everyone looked to him, but Sarai was the first to speak. Absolutely not! I should be the one to make the sacrifice. It is my duty as the wielder of the chronoscepter. This isn't up for discussion. I will be the one to give my life to power the machine, Sir Alistair said. Jameson laughed. The last thing anyone expected to hear in that moment. You can all save your heroic speeches. Let me take the fall. Alara turned to him, her face twisted into confusion and pain. Why you? She asked. You're all useful. The Talion knows all about Devine history. The Venomancer knows how this Titan technology works. The Elf is a skilled warrior. And you, Alara, you're the most powerful spellcaster of us all! Me? I'm just an old pirate who longs for the sea. Alara closed the distance between her and Jameson, wrapping her arms around him. I don't want you to go, she said. Jameson smiled and laid his hand on her shoulder. You're just saying that because we've been through a lot, young one. You'll forget about me once I'm gone.
Alara shook her head. No, I won't! Jameson looked back to Sir Alistair.
You know I'm right!
Sir Alistair's eyes wandered across the group.
Perhaps there is another way.
He barely believed his own words.
There is no other way, Yeldarb shouted. Don't you all see? Blackheart wanted this, so he could go back in time and stop the World Tree from ever ensnaring the rot. We have to go back and make sure that the rot never touches the realm of Devine. We can save everyone!
Sarai nodded. Vinton sacrificed himself so we could make it here. We have to finish this. Sir Alistair looked at the group once more, his face grim.
If this works, everything will change. The sacrifice here may not be permanent, but we won't know until we change the past.
The group all exchanged nervous glances.
So, who's it going to be?
Yeldarb asked. Thank you for listening. This marks the midway point in the first story arc of the Order of the Pawn. At this point, I will be taking a break to run Flash Fiction February next month, so Chapter 10 will not be out until the first week of March. As a result, you will have plenty of time to cast your vote in the poll below to decide who will make the sacrifice. And to all Devine fans, thank you, sincerely, for supporting this world, for reading these stories, and for making my dream come true by having people enjoy what I'm doing here. So thank you, I appreciate all of you, and I'll see you again back in Devine in March 2026.